She had only intended to repair the aircraft, to complete her shift, and walk away unnoticed like every other night. But within moments, Selena Harris found herself standing at the epicenter of a corporate scandal that would forever alter the course of her life. The night shift at Fairbridge Private Airfield unfolded beneath the dim glow of halogen lights and the rhythmic hum of standby generators. The hangars, vast and metallic, stood like dormant titans under the sky, each harboring jets that whispered of wealth and power. Outside, the Illinois winter swept across the tarmac with bitter resolve, seeping through every crack and seam of the infrastructure. Inside Hangar 4B, beneath the fuselage of a sleek Gulfstream, Selena worked alone. Clad in grease-stained navy blue coveralls, and with her thick braids tied neatly beneath a cap, she maneuvered tools with steady, practiced precision. Her hands, protected by thin latex gloves, moved with the kind of grace honed by repetition and necessity. Her presence was a quiet one, invisible to most, but essential to the machines she kept alive. This solitude had become her domain. By 9 p.m., most of the day crew had long since departed, leaving her to tend to their oversights and finish what they had left incomplete. She preferred it that way. The silence gave her space to think, to double-check systems others had neglected. Tonight, as on many others, she had arrived early to fix yet another overlooked fault, this time a thrust reverser sensor improperly calibrated by Randall, a senior technician who rarely second-guessed his own work. Within minutes, she spotted the error, corrected it, and removed her name from the logbook after the fix. If she submitted her revision officially, she'd risk another write-up for interfering beyond her role. She knew this from experience. 6 months prior, her initiative had earned her a reprimand, not recognition. Randall, of course, had received praise for the flawless maintenance. It wasn't the first time her hands had averted disaster while someone else collected accolades. She kept a private folder, hidden in the cloud, containing every incident, every near-miss she had silently prevented. She wasn't sure why she kept them. Maybe proof for herself. Maybe for a day that might never come. As the hour crept past 9, Selena completed her shift log and walked past the break room. Laughter filtered through the door. 3 of her colleagues, all men, watching a replay of a game. One noticed her, but looked away. She didn't expect acknowledgement. The parts desk, Kenny, the inventory manager, didn't glance up as he slid her clipboard across the counter. Her name, Harris Bay 2, was handwritten as always. Everyone else had printed tags. She said nothing. It wasn't worth the breath. Her assignment that evening was a routine inspection of a private jet owned by a wealthy developer. Nothing unusual, nothing intellectually demanding. As she began her inspection, her mind drifted back 5 years, to the summer she believed would launch her career. She had just graduated top of her class at Great Lakes Institute of Aerospace Technology, not an Ivy, but respected enough. Her final project, a modular fuel pressure system, earned praise from professors and had even made it to a pre-patent review. That summer, she'd interned at Stratacor Engineering, a premier aerospace firm, home to cutting-edge aviation technology and boundless ambition. For 3 months, she worked tirelessly, volunteering for extra shifts, refining simulations, and eventually submitting her fuel pressure prototype to the internal development database. 3 days later, she was let go. The reason? Cultural misalignment and vague concerns about team cohesion. Her design disappeared from the system. Her access revoked. Emails went unanswered. Even colleagues who once seemed supportive distanced themselves. She was quietly erased. Returning to her mother's apartment in Southside Chicago was humbling. Her mother, a retired janitor with arthritic fingers and an iron will, told her, "They can take your job, but not your knowledge." Still, knowledge didn't pay rent. So, Selena accepted a mechanic's position at Fairbridge, a temporary job, or so she thought. But years passed, and better never came. Tonight, under another jet's belly, her gloved hands paused over a pressure seal, one she'd redesigned years ago. A seal no one had cared to credit her for. She inhaled deeply. Was her innovation real? Or had her talents simply been delusion? How could you know if the world refused to acknowledge your presence? Around 4 a.m., she paused in the break room for a coffee. On the bulletin board was an announcement, a VIP inspection scheduled for tomorrow. Randall was listed as the lead. The aircraft, a Falcon XPR from Stratacor's private fleet. Owner, Nathan Stratton, CEO of Stratacor. The name sent a jolt through her chest. He was the face of the company that had taken everything from her. According to the memo, inspection was due between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. Randall would almost certainly hand the task off to her, as always. Her pulse quickened. She didn't know what, but something told her tomorrow wouldn't be just another shift. The next night, a heavy fog blanketed the airfield. The Falcon XPR arrived just before midnight, its charcoal gray frame gleaming beneath the hangar lights. Randall had indeed shown up, grumbled about a headache, and tossed the inspection her way. Selena approached the jet with the reverence of someone meeting an old enemy. She connected her diagnostic tools and began her checks. Most systems appeared normal at first, but then she noticed an irregularity in the pressure system, a pattern that triggered a memory. The pressure regulation architecture was eerily similar to her own prototype. Identical naming conventions. The same valve logic. Her code. A chill ran down her spine. She traced the system further. Failsafes modified. Safety thresholds reduced. If this jet had encountered turbulence at cruising altitude, a pressure imbalance could have triggered catastrophic failure. And tomorrow, according to Flight Manifest, Stratton himself would be on board, along with his pregnant daughter. She documented everything, copied logs, simulation data, and uploaded them to an encrypted server. At 3 a.m., she roused the night supervisor. He hesitated. The jet belonged to Stratton. Delays would cost the company. But she persisted. Finally, he agreed to file a hold notice on the condition that she claim it as a direct report to the FAA. She agreed. She had to. Hours later, Stratton and his entourage arrived. Selena intercepted them. Calm, firm, she explained the fault. Stratton, polished, commanding, dismissive, demanded proof. She handed over her tablet. He didn't take it. Instead, he called for Randall. Randall scoffed at her claims. She's just a mechanic, he said, always reaching beyond her lane. Selena held firm. I'm also an aerospace engineer. I wrote that code. It's mine. Stratton ordered an integrity scan. The results confirmed her simulation. Her pressure system, copied, altered, and dangerously deployed, was real. He turned back to her. You just cost me millions. I may have saved your life, she replied. He nodded slowly. Come with me. We need to talk. Inside his office, high above the airstrip, Selena recounted everything, the internship, the theft, the silence. He listened. Then he called Stratacor's CTO. A video call. A face she remembered. Dr. Vincent Hale. The man who had once encouraged her to share her ideas, then disappeared the moment she was dismissed. When pressed, Hale denied everything. But under scrutiny, cracks appeared. Eventually, he slipped. Admitted her system had been a helpful base. Stratton's expression darkened. You're suspended. Indefinitely. He turned to Selena. What do you want? Recognition. Compensation. Change, not just for me. She showed him records of others like her. Women, often of color, who had submitted ideas only to vanish from projects. Stratton understood the weight. This goes deeper than I thought, he said. An audit followed. The truth unraveled. Multiple engineers had used stolen IP. Hale wasn't alone. The company issued a public apology, promised reforms, and, most notably, offered Selena a directorship, head of inclusive innovation. She accepted, but she had her own vision. With legal counsel, she established a new company, Prism AeroWorks, focused on ethical aerospace innovation. Based in South Chicago, it would offer opportunities to those long excluded from the field. Her lab buzzed with young engineers from overlooked colleges, veterans, and dreamers. 1 year later, as she addressed a crowd at Prism's launch event, her voice was steady. Dreams don't thrive in silence. They need space, belief, and room to breathe. We're building that space here. And this time, no one would erase her name from the blueprint.